Hello, good morning. Today I'm in the garden. I want to show you what happens when you save seed from a hybrid plant. And first off, I'm just going to show you the hybrids. Let's switch camera here. I don't have any examples of the hybrid growing in vegetative state, but this one's actually starting to flower. So we're looking at lettuce here. This hybrid lettuce came out of a bunch of seed that I saved the previous year where two varieties were grown in proximity, and I ended up getting, maybe 3% of the seeds appeared to be hybrids. The original plants, one of which is this jester here, I'll show you another one in more of a vegetative state. It's also flowering, this one. But I'll just show you quickly some of the characteristics. Overall, I noticed that this plant, compared to the parents, has much more hybrid vigor. A very vigorous plant, and also just like produced a ton of vegetative growth. It also sort of flowered a little bit later than the parents. But yeah, the leaf is like a big leaf, oak leaf, a little bit serrated on the edges. I don't know if you can see that. This is important to notice because we're going to go and look at the parents in their vegetative growth right now. Okay, so here's one of them. This is Jester. I believe it's a summer crisp type of lettuce. It's a really nice lettuce, although I find it does a little bit better during the typical lettuce growing time, which from here is, May, June, July. And after that point, it's not as reliable for me, so I plant less of it. It's a fairly vigorous plant. It's not the most vigorous lettuce I have, whereas I'm going to show you these guys. This is Cocard. It may also be called bronze arrowhead lettuce. It might be the same variety as that, and Cocard's just the a named variety of that or something. Not sure. And you'll see that leaf shape that we saw in the hybrid. Essentially, the leaf shape must be, I assume, must be dominant, because it shows up, or at least codominant or something. It shows up in the hybrid always. And it's more of a smooth edge. This plant is extremely vigorous. It is a little workhorse. It produces so fast. It doesn't produce the most amount, like the largest amount of lettuce, but probably if I was to rely on it for huge yields, I would just need to plant it a little bit denser, but it would probably do that for me if I wanted. So it's one reason I really like this variety. It's a great cutting lettuce. What else can I say about it? So it doesn't really have any speckling in it. It's sort of this, I don't know what you would call that, bronze or maybe magenta colored or something. Whereas the jester lettuce that I showed you previously, the other parent here, is more of a green color and has that splotching, purple splotching. Okay, so I've saved seed from the hybrid plant, and I've planted out some starts from that. Now I'm going to go show you that. And here we are. We have an assortment of different lettuce shapes, a little bit of variety in color. First thing to note is that I think there's a lot of oak leaf lobing of various kinds. Some of them look more like almost dandelion leaf with deep serrated lobes. Some of them have a little bit of pointing on the edges, probably coming from the jester plant. Not as smooth as the Cocard plant. This one's very smooth, but it has more of like a broad leaf shape. There's another broadleaf one here, but it's green. So you get a whole smorgasbord of different colors and probably some rare recessive showing up. I want to I'm not entirely sure, but I only got, out of about 20 plants, I only got 1 or 2 that showed up like this, where it's an oak leaf type, kind of some serrations on it, hard to see, and it also has speckling, right? And it's green. So that seems like it's probably rarer. Seems like the most common types that we have here, probably this sort of type, where we got one here, one here. They all vary just slightly. Probably a whole bunch of genes controlling all these features, or multiple genes. There's another one here, another one here. So these ones tend to be similar similar phenotypes. There's also one that's kind of, I guess it has the jester shape, but like this one has some red leaves coming up. I don't know if it's going to stay like that. We're in the fall here, and I often see lettuce puts on more of a red color in the fall. Here's another one like that, an upright shape with varying amounts of freckling or speckling in it. Anyway, this just gives you a taste of the frequencies of gene recombinations, I guess, that happen in the F2 offspring. And so from this set, and you can imagine if I grew out maybe like 100 or 200 or 300 of these plants, you might get some really rare types. And you could grow these out, hopefully in isolation, to keep those genes inbreeding and reselect new varieties from this crossing. So that's the really cool part about this. I could potentially select lettuce crossings that nobody else has seen. They're kind of genetic mutts in a way, but over time, as you select them, if you find a good purpose for them and they grow really well, I don't see anything wrong with having a lettuce mutt. As long as it tastes good and it produces and does what you want in the context you're growing it. So that's all I have for today. I hope this was enlightening and maybe got you thinking about breeding lettuce plants, or breeding plants in general in your garden. Lettuce is a really good one to start with. Anything that's an inbreeder, like tomatoes, beans, peas, those are all excellent places to start your plant breeding journey. Okay, bye.